examination by prosecutor Deputy DA Hank Goldberg. Testimony last week by Lee, a highly respected expert, challenged much of the evidence of the prosecution against O.J. Simpson. But as crucial as Lee's testimony is, both
he poked holes in prosecution theories and knocked the way L.A. police gathered evidence from the murder scene. Also this week, Judge Lance Ito could rule as soon as tomorrow whether to admit the Mark Fuhrman audio tapes. Joining us to discuss the trial is William Ritchie, former D.C. Deputy Police Chief, and defense attorney Grandison Hill. Thank you both for coming in this morning.
Good morning.
Let's go ahead and start with Dr. Henry Lee, his testimony from Friday. How damaging was that testimony, Bill?
Well, it's really going to depend on how the jury perceives his testimony. Dr. Lee is known for, with the prosecutors, law enforcement, as being an expert in this field. But to the jurors, he is really probably unknown. They've probably never heard of this individual. So it's going to depend on the rapport that he establishes with the jury, and we'll see how much weight they give his testimony.
Grandison.
Well, I think he probably did very well. I think he's a very dangerous witness. I think the prosecution better be very careful cross-examining this man. He's the kind of person that I equate him to a Mike Tyson, and you go in the ring and you may get one or two shots, but he's going to knock your head off.
Well, in fact, Judge Lance Ito gave Hank Goldberg, the prosecuting attorney who's going to be conducting the cross-examination today, gave him some friendly advice. He said, make it 30 minutes or less. Be nice, be friendly. Is that good advice?
That may be too long.
What do you think?
Well, absolutely, though. One other little sidebar there, Dr. Lee, obviously Asian American, Judge Ito, Asian American. Why would he give this type of advice for this witness as opposed to other witnesses?
Do you think that the jury is getting tired, though, of this expert versus expert that we've had continuing now for months?
They have to do that right now. The defense has to match expert with expert, and that's the only way they're going to be able to raise reasonable doubt. If they didn't have somebody to rebut what the prosecution has put on, they'd be going right down the tube real quick.
All right, let's talk about the explosive, the Fuhrman tapes. There's going to be a decision hopefully on Tuesday. Should these tapes be permitted as evidence, Bill?
Well, I think they should be. I believe that they show some, if the information we have is accurate, that it shows some predisposition on the part of Fuhrman to fabricate evidence. And, is it going to be a matter for the jury, did Fuhrman fabricate evidence to frame a guilty person?
I think it goes directly to his credibility, whether or not he's a liar. And I think they really got him in a box, and I think he's going to probably, either outside the presence of the jury, and I think that has to be done in that fashion, take the Fifth Amendment. California law says that once he's put in a position like this and he's going to take the Fifth Amendment, he doesn't have to take the stand because he has nothing relevant to testify to.
Editorial section of the Post today, William Raspberry says if Fuhrman takes the stand, this is the end of the O.J. Simpson trial, that O.J. Simpson will walk.
I think there's a good probability he's going to walk as it is. The prosecution, I believe, must hope that they have one or two jurors that will maintain their position and they end up with a mistrial.
I go along with that one. I think it's a mistrial.
All right. I also want to talk a little bit about the jury. They have been sequestered now since, January 11th? How much longer can these people hold on? I mean, this is expert after expert, all this dry, endless testimony.
Well, I think that they probably are in a position now to sense that it's coming to an end, and they probably have the resolve now to stick it out.
I think that they realize that this is it. They've just got to really hold on right now. And they're hoping that the rest of the case moves very quickly so they can get to the final arguments. And I think the final arguments will be crucial in this case, along with those tapes.
Bill, let's talk about the PR blitz. Chief Willie Williams is sending out videos to all his various departments. There's a lot of morale boosting going on, pep talks. Too little, too late? Important? What's your take?
Well, I think it's very important. Obviously, we would like to have seen this done earlier. However, we see the same type of thing occurring with other police departments here locally in Prince George's County. When the morale of the force is down, it is very, very difficult to conduct the business of the government.
Grandison.
Well, I think they're hurting, and I think Willie has to do something to lift him up a little bit, but he's got a hard road ahead of him because they've got to look into the statements that Furman made, and they're going to have to open up those investigations. They're going to have to talk to more police officers. There's going to be a lot of people in trouble out there if what Furman has been saying is true.
What do you think is going to happen? I mean, how is the the Los Angeles Police Department ever going to change his perception that they are a racist force?
Well, I think it will occur only after, a period of time. Look at what's going on in Philadelphia. They recently indicted, convicted several police officers for fabricating evidence, and now there's a whole list of defendants in jail that may be released.
Grandison, I'll give you the final word.
Furman better get a black lawyer, and very quickly, because he may find himself in front of a L.A. jury, and he may find some people there that won't